Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Is that Kevin?
Hi there, Stan. Afternoon to you.
Afternoon to you too. This is Sheng from Alcentra. Before we begin, I need to read something out just for compliance reasons. So, I'm an employee of Alcentra Limited. We are an investment firm, and we may buy, sell, or short stocks or other investments based in part on the information that you provide. We do not want material non-public information or information that is subject to a confidentiality obligation. Are you able to continue on that basis?
Okay.
Excellent. Thanks. So just to give you a bit of background of why we're having this call. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but Inspired Education is acquiring ACG in Australia, and in connection with that, they're issuing some new debt to refinance existing debt and to finance the acquisition. So we know the market a bit because we are existing investors in Nord Anglia's debt, so we know a bit of the market. But as a firm, we know the market. We are familiar with the market, but for myself, I only recently assumed coverage of the education sector. So I just want to I've already had calls on this, but I still want to get a broad overview of one, the direction of the market, two, where Inspired stand in the market, and three, and this is most crucial for me, is to understand how cyclical this market is, particularly at the premium end. So perhaps maybe we could start off by discussing maybe just the
before. Can you tell me again? Sorry, I have a slight hearing problem. It's only slight, but it sometimes means that I can't hear.
No problem.
Especially if you're into a microphone. So what's your name and the organization, please?
Sorry, my name is Sheng. I'm from Alcentra. We're a debt investment firm.
What's it called?
Alcentra.
How do you spell
Hello?
that? A-L?
ALCNTRA.
Okay, good. And where are you based?
I'm based in London.
Okay, fine. Good. Right, well, I'm quite happy to talk to you, give you as much information as I possibly got. And you say you're invested in Nord Anglia, which I'm the founder of Nord Anglia.
Yeah.
And so I founded it a long time ago in 1971. And I oversaw its growth until about 10 years ago. And indeed, all the things it's doing now, I started. But I didn't develop it at quite the rate at which it's developed since then. Okay. But I've been in the market, in the international schools markets, since the early, I would say from about 1970 onwards. And so I have a reasonable insight into it. And I have another company called Orbital, which is about 10 schools in various places. Not Australia, I'm sorry to say, but although I did have business in Australia previously in the English language business. So what can I tell you specifically?
So I think firstly I just want to get an idea of where. I think this is more brief. I can't understand it really, but what's the risk of? I understand obviously the general education market is growing, private K-12 education market is growing, but what's the risk that we see some competition from private switching to public, or is that like a really low risk because the government is really not that great at providing education?
But what's the risk? It depends where you're talking about, because international education is literally all over the world. So each area is going to have different risks associated with
it. Obviously, I understand. We obviously don't have the time, to go granular and discuss every single market. But in general, would the trend be like more often than not, the public market really is not going to improve much? To still
the public education system, you mean? Is that correct? As opposed to the international one? Yeah. Well, yes, you're quite right. Globally, there's considerable growth in international education, and I think the main reason for this is firstly that, as you rightly point out, the quality of education provided by the state in many places is very, very poor indeed. And therefore, families who can afford it think, well, we're not going to get very far with the development of our children unless we do something about it. And